Okay. We are live for the astrology for December the 30th. Let's go jump into it. Ow. I got a bite there or something. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna start on this 30th. I'm glad you're here with me. And I hope you're learning something here. You're working on yourselves. You're trying to get life going. And this is the time to start really planning for this new year coming. Don't make resolutions, but aspire to do something this year. Make plans, have your goals, whatever, and devote yourself to something here. And I mean, really devote yourself in a spiritual way to it, to achieve what it is that you want to achieve here. So let's go ahead and jump over into the astrology real quick. And what we got going on. We got the T-square still going on here, as you can see. This is going to be kind of a really emotional day, I would say. We all know the old year is coming to an end. The new year, we don't know what's going to happen in the new year for sure. Remember, all times I give you, whether it's AM, PM, it will be in the Eastern Standard Time. You'll have to make adjustments according to your area, okay? To where you live, in your homeland, or your state that you may live in as well. So, anyway, let's go ahead and begin. We're still dealing with these T-squares, darn it. What are you trying to overcome here? Are you having trouble getting your mind working? Are you still thinking and stuck in the past? You know, in this mental attitude of the past. There is the conjunction with the ascending here. That this is coming up in relationships, partnerships, contracts, clients, whatever this may be dealing with. There's something still here. Now, this is like at 1:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's something here that you're still trying to create or work toward, maybe a belief. I don't know what your beliefs are. You've got to get the mental attitude that you can create what it is you want to create and what you believe. You got to have a belief here. You also got to put the work in. You got to be inspired to do whatever this is. And it's really dealing with Pluto here and with this Mars energy. And what is it? You just don't have the energy to do something, or you're not inspired in something here. You're not making any goals. You're not making any plans, you know. I know there's people out there that live day to day, moment to moment, hour to hour. And that is a hell of a way to live because, you know, if you're not really inspiring yourself to create something in life and you're just living from day to day and hour to hour, come what may, you know, in the kumbaya attitude, you're going to have trouble. Because, you know, if you're living that way, then you know what? And you're not inspired or have a inspiration or a goal to reach or accomplish something here, and you're not devoted to anything and you're just living day by day, when you don't have goals and you don't have aspirations to achieve something or plans in something, then you know what? You're kind of setting yourself up for failure, really. Because when there's a challenge that comes along, you just may walk off and leave whatever you're doing. And I know people like that live that way. They live hour to hour, day to day. Well, come see, come saw, you know? And you know, and that's a terrible way to live. And like I said, this is going to be, you know, with this moon, you know, here in Leo, you know, you can't, I don't, in relationships and romantic relationships, affairs of the heart, and all this, if you don't have the courage to step up and do something here and really fight for what you really want and meet those challenges when they come in, and like I said, if you're just living day by day by day, hour by hour, if there's something that comes up, like I said, you're just going to walk off and leave it. Then you're going by the seat of your britches and you really don't care. Um, no, I couldn't live my life that way. I'm a true believer of looking at accomplishing something and having a dream and being devoted to that dream, or to have it. How can you get with someone that's living that way and have faith in them? Because you don't know when they're going to be there and when they're not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? If that's the way they're living, that means they may be with you one minute and somebody else the next minute. You piss them off, or they get a little upset, or there's a little conflict or whatever, or something's not going the way they want it to, then they're just going to walk off and leave. Is that what you want? I don't. And can be, with having the courage now to do something here for your future and not just ride the tide. So the next thing we have is going to be the sun's going to come up on the 30th. We are doing 30th, right? Yep. The sun's going to rise at 7:28. Okay. So let's go over the energies real quick of the day, because the day is going to be ruled by Saturn. It's Saturday and it's going to be ruled by Saturn. Saturn is going to be at a 1. It's been staying at a 1. It's not moving. You might as well face it. Saturn's going to be there 2.5 years. In Pisces. It got to 7 degrees and it went retrograde and it went all the way back to 0, and now it's coming right back through Pisces again. And so it's really dealing with something here of a capacity to love, limiting or maybe even restricting or confinement, because Pisces can be confinement. You're not opening your heart up to love. I mean, there is that square to Venus. Maybe you don't have the courage to love. I don't know. Or to believe in love anymore. Some people don't. Some people never have believed in love. They think it's just, I mean, you just can't tell somebody I love you and not put the actions behind the words. You got to show that love. I've been watching. I got to tell y'all something here. I've been watching a lot of camping videos, and I know there's these new tents they're coming out with, and I've been looking at that, and I'm like, that, I love camping. Oh man, I love camping. I love fishing. I like sitting out by the fire in the evening, with someone and a good cup of coffee and just kind of chilling out, looking at the stars and just enjoying the night. Haven't done that in so long. And I'm kind of getting inspired into that again. Really getting out there, and what they're doing, people are doing with these tents nowadays, these blow up tents, is like it's almost like they're making homes out of them. And I'm kind of getting inspired by that, something cozy, and you can put the little, the wood stoves in there, and they got the little thing, for the exhaust to let the smoke out, out the top of the tent and everything. And I might just start getting me some camping gear again and go out there on my own and do a little camping. Um, uh, Maybe in the springtime, start it up, finding different places to go camping, getting a little bit more and more out in nature. I'm really enjoying myself. So I've been looking at that too. So, um, for the last 7 years, I've been really responsible and taking care of my duties and, being a grown up and everything. But it hasn't been much fun. But I had, watching these and seeing these couples go out and camping in different areas and different places. And I'm thinking, gosh, I want to do that. I want to get out into nature and all, and really enjoy it. And maybe do a little fishing as well. But oh shoot, I done got sidetracked now. Yeah, okay. Back to this. All right, the sun rises at 7:28 on Saturday. The moon is its energy, where the sun's energy is going to be a -5. The moon is going to be a -5 as well. Not really sure why, other than the fact of a lack of possible courage here. Mm, let's see. Yeah, it's going to be at a -5 all day. It could be the intense energy, um, trying to maybe build up some courage here, or being inspired in some way. Um, we have Mercury at a -10 because it's still retrograde. We have Venus at a 5. Her uh, um, she's more optimistic now, being in Sagittarius. Mars is at a 2. Um, Jupiter's at a 5 because it's going to be direct. And Saturn, like I said, will be at a 1. But he's got 2.5 years it's going to be there. Um, and Jupiter's going to be expanding. It's growth. We're all going to want that growth moving forward. So, like I said, it starts out with the T square. There's going to be some issues, some blockages, some challenges that I don't know if people are meeting them. First thing we got showing up here after the sun comes up is at 9, is that 38? Yeah, 9:38 in the morning. Like I said, this whole day is focused toward the moon. It's what we, the affairs of the heart. We have this cell here. I find this really strange that there's no opposition here with the past. I mean, there's this trion here, and activating the mind, being activated, the mental attitudes towards something here of the past. With the moon, what you feel. It could be a lot with pride and ego as well. But it's almost like somebody's not really opposed to going back toward the past. Um, um, for something they miss. Uh, wanting that success. Or they have a vision or an insight here. They finally got it. And so, and that may be why there is no opposition here of wanting to go back toward the past. This is sort of, the opposition is with the moon to the ascending. It's kind of like opposed to maybe something with society within the soul, the rules and regulations of society here, that working outside of those rules of society, um, be more optimistic, maybe, uh, of missing something from the past. You feel like you're missing something there, and there's that quincunx between Uranus and the South Node that is a sudden change. Could it be a sudden change of the heart? Possibly. Sudden change of values? Possibly. But believe me, there's still the T squares there where there is a challenge there. It's, could be trying to think of a way how to return, to just, instead of just popping up, uh, how to return back to something, and activating the thoughts, um, to explore maybe a devotion, or somebody that may have been devoted to you at one time, or and that getting the courage up to maybe go face something that needs to be faced. There is a trine here, as well as activating, maybe for the future, because maybe past wasn't as bad as you thought it was when you left it. Just saying. And you're trying to figure out how to move back that way, Then we have, like I said, that has a lot to do with these two T squares, and working it out in your mind and activating your mind, here, because of a vision or an insight that you may have had, that, hey, like I said, the past wasn't as bad as it is, what I thought it was. Better than what I probably got right now. A lot of people may be thinking that. And they may have to feel like, well, yeah, there might be some opposition to society, or to friends or groups you may be in, and that may be challenging you about it, you know. But you got to make your own mind up. You can't let others decide your relationships, or your careers, or your studies, or wherever you want to go. You've got to decide, and kind of be that adult and step up and say, mm-mm. And please, just don't think you're going to go in there and just say, honey, I'm home, I'm back. I mean, a lot of people have done that before, and, you get a rude awakening, because there is the grand trine here. I do want to say that. And it has to do with the future. And this trine to, Mercury. Recommunicating, reconnecting in some way. And, the thoughts, a vision you may have. And having that courage, that emotional courage. It's the heart of the lion. It's romantic affairs of the heart, more or less. Like I said, I feel like it's really a lot to do with an insight or a vision of something that maybe, you maybe have left, and you want, there is, a square there with the moon. Of healing something here, that could be really coming up. But just don't go in there to tear down somebody else's, their goals or their plans. Next thing we got here is with the moon in Leo. It's at 21 degrees. And the moon is trying the North Node. But it's also trying Venus and Mars. There's still the grand trine there. You can see it. Right there. Now we have that sail. But again, I feel like it's not. There's not an opposition. I think you've already consciously have become aware of something here in relationships, that something has become very clear, that has really illuminated. And you're really thinking this back over. And Venus is at a 1 now, so she's really starting to, maybe initiate something here of, is it possible? To reconnect? I don't know. That's, like I said, we still have the 2 squares here as well. I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to go back to somebody in the past, there's going to be some decisions. Just remember, with this ascending coming in and connecting up, and that's what's going to be coming up is Jupiter and stationary, and being very optimistic about something here to make some kind of healthy change in your life. And bring that balance back in. It's not going to be easy, because you got to remember you're dealing with another person here. And the midheaven right now is in a square to the past, and this is where you are in your life. So these T squares are not going to be easy, because with the midheaven and where you are in life right now, you're being challenged about the past and the future to overcome something here. And you can't go back and say, well, can we get back together? But, okay, can we work things out? But you got to change away. No, if that's the attitude that you got, the mental attitude you got going back into something here, no. You're going to either accept the person for the way they are, or the only person that can change is you change yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to want to change you. If you want a better life, then you got to change your behaviors, your attitudes, your mental attitude, all this other stuff. Don't think you can go in there to somebody that has been working on their life and have changed their life, and think you're going to take all that negativity back in and say, well, okay, well, I need you to change, but you got to change. No. You're going to love that person the way they are and the light that shines within them, or you're not, or there is no light there. You got to decide. You got to make this decision to open your heart up. And you got to have the courage. I mean, this takes courage and determination. You got to want to change you, not the other person. Okay? If they want to change, they'll change. But it'd be for them, not for you, for them. Don't ever try to change. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Don't try to change somebody. Let them show you who they really are. Let them show you their character. Okay? Because then you'll find out what they're really truly like, and you'll know, do I stay or do I get the hell out of here before hell hits the fan? Before the fire gets too hot. Now we got a grand trine here. So I feel like there is some mental change in the attitude for the future. But how long is it going to last? Well, I tell you what you will know here, when the first challenge comes up, how are they going to handle it? Hmm? Or how are you going to handle it? Somebody just pops up at your doorstep and you go, what? I mean, how you going to feel about it? Like I said, we got these T-squares here. Like I said, it ain't easy going back. Depending on how it ended, or if there was ever anything there. Now this is when it gets pretty damn interesting. Because this is going to be at 3:59 in the afternoon, almost right at 4 o'clock. We have a sale going on here. Now there's some opposition. This is going to be coming up. Somebody might say, well, what's your goal here? Well, what's your plans for the future? And if somebody sits there and says, well, I don't have any, then bye. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Don't come, because Mercury being retrograde and it's being in Sagittarius, it can be in this detriment. It can be weak. It can be negative. It can be repressed. Don't want to talk about it. Okay, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't go with a weak mental attitude or repressing something here. If you go, you better make sure whatever you're going toward, which is that ascending, what's coming up, devotion, the goal, the spiritual flame within, you better be ready and have your ducks in a row to whatever here that you're being enlightened that you need to take some action here. Because, a lot of people come to the conclusion or come to the end of something here where there was no resolution or there was no closure. And the reason there's no closure is because someone here didn't really want to end something. They didn't want it to come to an end. So therefore, there was no closure. So the other person had to get their closure on their own. And when they did, and they just kind of went like, that's it. And then the other person realizes, well, hey, wait a minute. Where are you going? So you got to think about this. That midheaven right now is in conjunction with Saturn now at 3 degrees. I mean, it's finally moving. I mean, it moved 2 whole degrees. Jeez, didn't even notice that. And we have a trine here from the moon to that north node. It's showing Mercury and trying to the moon in a trine to Mercury. But remember, it's weak, repressed. It's not coming out with something here. And now we have the kite to the past. Something is coming up about the past. I don't know what it is, but it's in relationships. It's in partnerships. Could be in clients, if you have clients you're dealing with. Again, but there is no opposition there for the future on it. I mean, I see these T-squares without a doubt, and now I'm seeing the mystical rectangle. I mean, trying to do, with this trine here, there's a vision or an insight of something here. Maybe weak. We don't know. But then we're looking here with the mystical rectangle, where there's an opposition to something here, opposing something. And remember what I said about the mystical rectangle, it's Lucifer's rectangle. don't be surprised if there's something here where some sort of negative actions come out, or um, maybe the actions don't meet the words or the thinking, and it's again, I'm going to say it could be dealing with um, when we talk about Jupiter, we're talking about um, death and rebirth, and some, well, I would say judgment mostly. Um, let's see, and temperance and the judgment. Um, let's see, or the wheel. I'm sorry, the wheel of fortune, uh, which would deal with Jupiter and temperance. Um, there may have to be some patience here, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Satan doesn't have patience. Satan doesn't want to lose his soul. And there may be something here where, especially over to Saturn, because then we're talking about something very toxic. Um, or give me just a minute. Something of a completion. Um, something coming full circle. But it can be very toxic. Because Satan's not going to let somebody go. If he's got him in their grip, he's not going to be willing to just say, okay, I got the key here. I'll unlock the door and let you out. I'll drop the chains off. No. So you got to be kind of cautious here if somebody's actions are or words are meeting with their actions or their feelings. Are they really devoted here, or is this just a game somebody playing? Again, it's that north. So the points here dealing with the north node. The south node and the north node. Mercury and the ascending. What's coming up? Be careful with somebody not really communicating well, as well. They could be trying to tempt you, sway you in some way. And then we have the T squares, the same things that we've been dealing with. Uh, Neptune being the big influencer here, what you believe. Don't fall for illusions, because Lucifer's rectangle will try to entrap you or ensnare you in something here, with that smooth way, in some way. So don't fall for the temptations of something here. And don't let it, because all it is to destroy that eternal flame you have of a devotion, trying to get you to believe or confuse you in some way. Like I said, watch what is communicated, and does the actions meet with the thinking or the words. Okay? Then we have the grand trine that shows up here, which is the north node and Mercury and the moon here. The moon to the north node, the moon to I don't want to say somebody's weak, but I do want to say they can make everything sound good. But like I said, then we got the trapezoids going on. There's a focus here, trying. Now, it's not a double here, but, it's dealing with Mercury and the moon trying here. And the opposition is Mercury to what the goal is, what you aspire to be. What do you aspire and plan, and where are you setting your devotions for? Somebody trying to get you out of where where your focus might be for the future, what your plans are, what you're going to do, interfering with something here. Um, you're going to have to be real. If everybody's going to be a little bit different. But I'm sure, very, very sure, something with the past is going to come up that you're going to have to deal with. And like I said, there's going to be temptation, I think, that's going to be put there. And that's where this challenge is coming in at, this T square. Being tempted and swayed towards something. Could be, somebody trying to lure you back into a job, making you promises of something here, or making, if you're going to school, what it could be, making a course sound like it's, oh man, this you got to take this course. It's great, and and they're trying to get you or sway you into the group or something here. Think for yourself, all right? Really think for yourself. Don't open your heart up to something here that it's going to be so toxic you don't want it back in. It's always, like I said earlier, the only way the devil can come into your life is when you allow it. The next thing we have here at about 8, almost 9 o'clock, 3 minutes before 9. What we have here is, again, I feel like Satan got defeated here or something. No such luck here. We still have the squares. We have the T square. We have a double trine. I mean, this is like doubling. A doubling of energy. Remember what I said about that number 16? 16 is a representation of doubling. In everything. Doubling in life. Doubling of coming sort of like this person's life, you bring them again together, and it brings in that 16, which is a doubling of a new beginning for in life. And we do have the midheaven where you are at this point of completion of something, but also a lot of having this sudden change of healing, wanting to heal something of the past. Maybe somewhere. I mean, we do have a trapezoid here. Dealing with trying to see which with Mercury the ascending, trying to see what change, the ascending and the moon. It's the energy of what's coming up in your heart. There is some, opposition here as well. Somebody their thinking may be weak or negative or repressed or repressing something. They're not expressing something here what really truly they need to express. And with it's really, I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow. What I'm seeing here is like with these two energies combined. Oh, um, All right, come on now. Not quite sure. Okay, here we go. Yeah, these energies are combined and it's like 19. And then we have these two energies here combined. It's creating a these quincunxes to Neptune here, who's trying to create a illusion here. Almost like somebody's, these energies are not kind of together. And Neptune does has a tendency to look at illusions and glamour of something. Or somebody could be glamorizing something and it looks so good, you know? But and this does have to do with the ascending in the moon. But what's feeding into that is a sudden change. Somebody wants some kind of sudden change in the past, or they're making that decision. I would, I say before I'd move on it, I'd take my time. I wouldn't rush nothing. I wouldn't make any rash decisions at all. Not when it comes to love. No. Mm-mm. I wouldn't do anything, sign any contracts or anything right now with anybody. I wouldn't make any agreements to nothing. And I'd let them know that too. I'm not agreeing to anything. Especially if things had whatever didn't go on a good ending. Especially if somebody has kind of like ghosted you or whatever, and all of a sudden they're just popping back up. Nah. I don't think so. There could be some, red flags here. Definitely red flags that I would be kind of really cautious about. Something from the past just all of a sudden, boom, a sudden change of heart uh, or somebody trying to feed something here, an illusion or dream. You know, I would have to ask what's really going on here. You know, if a lot of people will say, especially if somebody has ghosted you and you've not heard from them in a long time or whatever else, um, they better come straight and correct, and their actions better meet their words. Because my big thing would be, well, we'll see. We'll see. Because I ain't committing to nothing. And why should you? I mean, if you've been done wrong, why should you? I mean, that's just the way I look at it. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting to hit my cursor back again. Um, because it's like this ascending and the moon, and I'm really concerned about where these energies just there's some adjustments that need to be made here or decisions because these energies just aren't. I know the moon has something here with Pisces, okay? Because of the moon card. When we look at tarot. It is about Pisces. It's emotions. But then when I'm seeing the Mars here, it's like, is the actions meeting up with the words or with the thoughts? Don't let yourself get sucked into some illusions. I just would be real cautious, is what my biggest thing of what I would say here. Think before you leap into something here. And you get yourself caught up in something, because remember, the moon deals with Pisces, but the hangman deals with Neptune. So that would be something of somebody really denying something. They keep denying something. They're and in a way, it's kind of a betrayal as well too. I just feel like somebody's repressing something here. They're not telling you everything. They just want you to make you think everything's good, great. I'm doing great. I'm doing good, and really the whole time they're suppressing, really, by telling the truth. Mercury is, communication. Are you speaking the truth here? Or are you just grandizing everything that's so wonderful? Know a bullshitter when you know a bullshitter. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. Now, anyway, that's what I got for you on the 30th. Don't fall for all the BS. Don't. Don't. Whatever may be coming toward you, out of the past, be cautious, be leery. That's the big thing I gotta say. Look for the red flags. Don't miss them. Don't let them sway you into some illusions that they're showing here. And I'm mostly saying that because of that mystical rectangle that's going on here. What are they trying to show you? What are they really showing here? Or what are they really hiding? Okay? So that's what I got for y'all. Y'all take care. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Love to have you here. So you can get the notifications. Make sure you click the bell as well. So you will get whenever I'm going live or when new videos are coming out. Next week I will be working on the tarot part for the month of January, and then we'll go into the astrology for January. Okay? So y'all take care, and I will see you later. Have a good one.